Oil. That's the answer. Thank you for watching. Venezuela recently conducted a referendum on whether they are the rightful owners of Guyana's western territories, also known as Guayana Esequiba or Esequibo. Who would vote no, huh? Anyway, Esequibo was disputed between Guyana and Venezuela for a long time. Guyana controls it right now, and most of the international community recognizes Guyana's sovereignty over it. But Venezuela does not, and wants Esequibo for itself. Why? Like with most geopolitical complexities and international conflicts, the good old British can be to blame. Before the British, however, it was the Dutch. You see, Venezuela was a Spanish colony, and it had a province called Guyana, which extended up to the Esequibo River. Dutch colonists began arriving en masse in the Esequibo region during the 17th to 18th century, and they often clashed with the Spanish authorities. The Dutch colonists apparently hoped they would find El Dorado. The Dutch maintained its nominal control until, surprisingly, Napoleon Bonaparte. The subsequent Napoleonic Wars really weakened the Dutch colonial empire, and the British gained the Esequibo from the Dutch and merged it with British Guyana. Meanwhile, the newly independent Gran Colombia and later Venezuela contested British control of Esequibo. And out of a sudden, gold was discovered in the late 19th century. The stakes were even higher when the US got involved, leading to the 1895 Venezuela crisis. Venezuela appealed to the US to force Britain into submission, citing the Monroe Doctrine. The US decided to arbitrate the conflict. Unfortunately for Venezuela, the arbitration ruled largely in favor of Britain. While the dispute died down, Venezuela never gave up on its claims. The 1966 Geneva Agreement was supposed to provide a framework for conflict resolution, but both sides remained firm on their claims. The British gave independence to Guyana in the same year, and with it, the Venezuela dispute. The status quo, however, remains. In 2018, Guyana handed over the issue to the International Court of Justice, trying to solve the dispute, but progress has been slow. The situation was pretty chill until the current Venezuelan government escalated the dispute and pushed for the annexation of Esequibo into Venezuela. There are several reasons why Venezuela wants Esequibo so much. Out of a sudden, oil was discovered a while ago, and the stakes are even higher than before, with again, US involvement. This time, US companies such as Exxon were permitted to explore the waters of Esequibo for oil resources, and Venezuela didn't react exactly well. Of course, when oil is involved, everyone becomes aggressive. Another reason is Nicolas Maduro. Venezuela lately hasn't exactly had a great time, with an economic crisis, political instability, and a general disorder creating a sense of uneasiness. To stir up public support ahead of the 2024 presidential election, maybe stirring up a geopolitical crisis will increase a leader's popularity. And another core reason is, well, it's just an expression of Venezuelan nationalism. This crisis didn't appear out of nowhere. It was an old problem dating back hundreds of years, crafted by the colonizers of the old and inherited by the nations of today. Venezuelans have seen Esequibo under foreign control as a stain on Venezuelan national consciousness for a long time, and they want this corrected. They believe today is the right time to correct the mistakes of the old. With the world's eyes on Ukraine and Palestine, maybe they will turn a blind eye to a country that very few people know about until now. For Guyana, however, the Venezuelan actions are seen as an existential threat. They don't have strong military capabilities, so they have to rely on Western support to deter any foreign aggression, especially from a militarily strong Venezuela. Most people who live in Esequiba are not Spanish-speaking Venezuelans, however, and most of the territory is prowling jungles. Any military operations will probably not be easy. In conclusion, Venezuela wants Esequiba to secure its natural resources, stirring up domestic support, and correcting the mistakes of the old. It's not a new conflict, but the tensions from this crisis have reached new levels, to the point of international attention. It's a matter of time before diplomatic negotiations will solve the dispute or armed conflict may erupt. Thank you for watching and please subscribe for more Country Neighbors.